Dear students, today we are again with a new video. It is based on Rabindra Nath Tagore. Okay, all of you know about Rabindra Nath Tagore that he had been a Nobel Prize winner that was given to him in 1913. So this question is very important. Rabindranath Tagore as a universal poet, as a world poet, or as a poet of world, or his greatness as a poet. Don't be confused that what kind of question can come in the exam. Today I am just going to help you that any question related to Rabindranath Tagore, okay, in the exam if you are asked, you have to answer in this way. Now the very first heading that will be very helpful for you, you can take the heading Tagore as a Nobel Prize winner. Okay, or you can start your answer with this heading also, Rabindranath Tagore as an Indo-Anglian poet. That depends on you. The very first heading can be taken Rabindranath Tagore as an Indo-Anglian poet, and then the second heading may be Rabindranath Tagore or Tagore as a Nobel Prize winner, right? And then directly you can come to this heading as a world poet or a poet of world, depends on you. So now how you will have to write, taking the help of your Gitanjali that has been prescribed in your syllabus. So Gitanjali is the best example. I will suggest you that without mentioning Gitanjali, you have not to answer to any question related to Rabindranath Tagore, because if Tagore is so famous today, he has been regarded as the son of India. It is because of, especially it is because of Gitanjali. So this is why that I am asking you not to ignore Gitanjali. It doesn't matter what kind of question there is, but you have to write about Gitanjali also. Okay, so another heading may be as a world poet, and when you will start to write the detail of this heading, you have to write in this way that why, what was the reason that Tagore he was called just as a world poet or a poet of world, means a universal poet. Because of his Gitanjali especially, Tagore has been called as the son of India, and you have to underline this, you have to highlight this point. I will not ask you to make the heading of this phrase or this line, because it will not be effective, but it will be better for you to write this line within your heading that Tagore has been called, but you have to highlight it, you have to underline this, so you can just you can change the ink of your pen writing this one, the son of India. Got? Even in the very short question type answers, you can be asked that who has been called or who was the son of India. The sentinel of the East, the bird of the East, first Indian poet who first gained for modern India a place on the world literary scene, right? And then you have to change the paragraph. He is relevant. Who is relevant? Tagore. Tagore is relevant to the people of the entire world, and this is why that we say that Tagore was not only a poet of India, but he was a poet of the world. And there is a universality of appeal in his poem, especially in Gitanjali, means there is no reader in the whole world, in the whole universe, who cannot connect him with Gitanjali. So there is a universality of appeal in Gitanjali, and Tagore had a dream. He had a vision of the whole world. This is why that he got name and fame. His wisdom is not for material success in life, nor for salvation, but it is only for contentment and eternal peace. So here you are feeling just like a divine power, spiritualism. When we talk of salvation, we talk of self contentment or eternal peace, divine peace, that is all these things are related to Gitanjali, and this is why that Tagore, he got Nobel Prize for literature. He makes us feel the world, and he had voiced the agony, that is inner agony. Okay, if you have gone through few songs of Gitanjali, you will feel that there is an inner agony throughout the songs of Gitanjali, the aspirations of all humanity in songs, in verse, or in lyrics, or in poems. The melody, the sweetness, and the innocence, the simplicity are all these the secrets of Tagore's universal appeal. So in this way you can write, and if you like, you can quote here the few lines of his songs of Gitanjali. Okay, so as a world poet, then now come quickly one by one what kind of headings then you can have. His versatility, Tagore's versatility, his genius, Tagore's greatness as a poet. Okay, Tagore's greatness as a poet, Tagore as a profound thinker. Tagore as a profound thinker, main theme. As I have asked you not to ignore Gitanjali, so main theme of his poetry, the main theme of Tagore's poetry is love. But love for whom? Love for what? Love for that divine power, that supreme power. Okay, that is a hidden power, and we don't have any idea what kind of power there is. But we all believe in oneness. We all believe that yeah, there is definitely a supreme power, though we are not aware of his that I mean, we all are aware that there is someone who is protecting us, who is controlling us, who is looking after us, and under whose protection we all are here, but we don't have any idea what kind of that power is. And when we go through the songs of Gitanjali, we come to know that Tagore's love for that supreme power. So love for God and his love for nature. Okay, all these are the main theme of Gitanjali, especially love, his love for nature, his love for humanity, even his love for his country, and beauty, truth, fellow feelings, all these we find in Gitanjali. So now you can sort out here what kind of theme you are going to mention in your answer, because there is Gitanjali, so all these different themes are there, but in your syllabus only few selected songs have been prescribed, so you have to focus on only the themes of your songs. Then seventh one may be realism, material and spiritual, means Tagore, he accepts both of them as true and real. And then the next one may be his poetry, it is simple. Okay, there is a lot of simplicity, and there is also a spontaneity in the poetry of Tagore. When you go through the songs of Tagore, you find that his theme or his language or his poems are very spontaneous because they come directly from his heart, and this is why that all the songs of Gitanjali touch the heart of its readers. So because of the simplicity of his language, so his poetry is simple and spontaneous. Main qualities of his poetry are simplicity and spontaneity, and if you like, you can quote here, you can give the example of few lines taken from Gitanjali, from your any kind of song. Sublimity is there, of course there will be sublimity because his love can be seen, can be felt very well for his God. So Tagore's poetry is sublime, it is serene because it is connected to that divine power and divine, right? Another heading can be taken, Rabindra Nath Tagore's love for nature, or just like not William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth's love was very different, it had been very different, but here we find Tagore's love of nature, because Tagore felt that if we want to meet our that supreme power, we have to go to nature, we have to make a friendship with nature, we have to love nature if we want to go near to our God. Okay, and that was very true. That was also said, that was also felt by William Wordsworth, that there is a connection, there is a deep, profound relation among man, God, and nature. And the same you felt going through Gitanjali. So this heading is also very important, Tagore's love of nature. He admired, and what he admired? Tagore, he always appreciated, he always worshipped nature throughout his life. So he admired and he adored nature throughout his life, and that can be observed very well in Gitanjali. Why I am giving you only the example of Gitanjali? Because Gitanjali's songs have been prescribed in your syllabus, and I don't want to give any other example out of your syllabus. In his love of nature, he is true romanticist, no doubt. Just like as I have told you about William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was a romantic poet, and the same we find with Rabindra Nath Tagore also, that his romanticism can be seen very well in his poems. So, in his love of nature, we can say that Tagore was really a true romanticist, because he was full of high emotion, full of imagination, and nature to him is an aspect of God. Means we can say that nature is just like an agent for human beings, agent for especially Tagore, that can take human beings very near to his father, his maker. So nature to him is an aspect of God, and he reaches God through whom? Through what? Only through nature. Only it is with the help of nature that we can meet our Father, we can see the face, the beautiful divine face of our Creator. So all these things have been mentioned by Tagore in Gitanjali. His love for God, his faith in God, more than Robert Browning. Robert Browning, as a Victorian poet, he also believed in the existence of God, and he always had a lot of faith in God. It doesn't matter what happens with us, but we always trust in the power of that supreme divine power. So the same was mentioned by Rabindranath Tagore also, that we always have faith in God, in nature, the main source of imagery. Okay, that is the main source of imagery, water and sky imagery. So now beauty of expression, imagination, music. Of course, there is music because he has been one of the greatest lyricists. There is a lot of music, a lot of melody, a lot of sweetness in the songs of Gitanjali. And don't forget that Rabindranath Tagore, he had been a musician also, a musician, a painter, and means what he was not. He was an actor too, he was a poet, he was a dramatist, he was a novelist too. So all these things, imagination, music, made his poems popular, memorable, effective. Means the songs of Gitanjali cast an indelible impression on the minds of its readers. So all these headings can be taken very well for your exam. It depends on you that what kind of selection you make out of all these headings. And if we go further, then here again we find Tagore as a mystic poet. Okay, so I don't want to make your question very lengthy, but all in all, this is why that it is all in all, it is complete, it is a perfect question, and this is why I am asking you again and again that it doesn't matter what kind of question you are being asked, but if you write just like this also, your question will be perfect, your answer will be perfect. Okay, so Tagore as a mystic poet, because all the important points are covered here. Tagore as a mystic poet, when you go through the text of the songs of Gitanjali, you yourself feel that Tagore somewhere he had been a mystic poet, because he has to talk, he has to describe that supreme power, and that supreme power is full of mysticism. That is, there is a lot of mystery in another world, and if there is a poet who is going to represent, who is going to give a description of that and another world, then that is full of mystery, because we don't have any idea what kind of that world is, right? The world of God, the world of that divine power, the world of that supreme power, about whom we all want to know each and everything, but we don't have any idea that what that power is. So here we find Tagore as a mystic poet, and his mysticism had not made him a recluse or an escapist. Escapist, William Wordsworth, as a romantic poet, he had been escapist. P.B. Shelley too, even John Keats also. Though Tagore, he believed in the existence of God. He loved God a lot. He was so devoted, he was so faithful, but in spite of that, his love for God couldn't make him an escapist. Means he didn't hate this world. He didn't want to escape from the reality of this life. So that is the great talent, that is the great power of Rabindra Nath Tagore, that he made a balance between both world, between the realistic world, between this world and that world, the world of God, that is external world, and internal world. Okay, so but it is an outcome of his realization of life. Okay, that is a very beautiful, that what Tagore actually, what happens that when you go through the songs of Gitanjali, you always feel your soul cries within you. It seems to say, why I am in this body. Okay, why I am in this body, what is my existence, for what I have taken birth, for what I have been sent to this world. So there are so many questions which can arise within you, in your mind, and that is the self realization. And Tagore, he had this kind of realization of life, that for what we have come in this world, for what we have been sent to this universe, and we should not forget our sender, that is our creator, our maker. So his realization of life, his mysticism demonstrates a practical way of achieving happiness, and that will always come only from spiritualism, that is salvation. Okay, and salvation, redemption also through active and meaningful participation in life. Now the next point can be taken, imagination and realism. No doubt romantic poet, as we find a lot of romanticism in his songs. So Rabindranath Tagore, he is known for his high imagination, for his realism. Means, as I have told you, that he made a very good balance between both, between that world and this world. Between, there was a blend, there was a mixture of that is truth and false, fancy and reality. So imagination and realism both are found. He blended very well, he mixed very well both world, the world of human beings and the world of that supreme power. So Rabindranath Tagore, he mixed devotion to and worship of God with the discharge of normal social and domestic duties. We all are chained here. We all are chained with our household duties, with our domestic duties, with our responsibilities, and it is not possible for us to get rid of all these kinds of responsibilities or duties. But Rabindranath Tagore, what kind of message he seems to give us, that it can be possible for us never to forget our that Father, our Creator, our supreme power, in spite of being chained with our social, moral, familial responsibilities or duties. If we want, okay, if we want, he himself couldn't try to escape from the life, escape from his duties. So how can Tagore ask us to give up all kinds of responsibility? Okay, spiritualism doesn't mean that we have not to focus our attention on our responsibility, on our duty, we have to ignore all of them. No, that doesn't mean spiritualism. So here we find the best example. Okay, throughout his songs you will feel yourself the best example of this balance between responsibility and duty to our family and duty to our father. Who is our father? God is our father, right? When I say God, so God is different, God is given different names. God means only God, that is our Father or our Creator. It doesn't matter by what name you call Him, but that is true that there is a supreme power and that is God, right? So he blended materialism with spiritualism to achieve his goal. He achieves and realizes his goal through the appreciation of beauty in all its manifestations and through the love and service of humanity. So when we love God, it doesn't mean that we hate or we dislike human beings. No, the more you love humanity, the more you love human beings, the nearer you will feel yourself to God. So both things go together, okay? The duty of this world and the duty for that world. So here there is a lot to be said, to be told about Rabindranath Tagore, but I will suggest you to go through the songs of Rabindranath Tagore, Gitanjali. You will never forget and you will be so overwhelmed after reading the text, the language, the beauty, the melody, the sweetness of Tagore. You will feel yourself and you will say, yes, truly, he was definitely, he deserved Nobel Prize for literature, and we are proud of him that Tagore was definitely, he was, or he can be called the son of India, because his rays inspired us. And the next point you can have a lyric poet, right? Lyricism. Tagore was a religious, he was a spiritual lyricist, he was a religious lyricist, or he was a devotional lyricist, because Gitanjali, okay, he devoted or he offered his all songs were at the feet of God. So his lyrics remind of, okay, it means you are not aware of Jayadev's Gita Govindam or P.B. Shelley lyricism, but if you are aware, you can mention here that is Jayadev's Gita Govindam also. So Tagore was a lyricist and his lyrics are very remarkable. Remarkable for what? Remarkable for their subjectivity because they are personal, right? Personal like Jayadev, personal like P.B. Shelley, and there are also economy of expression. Within few words, Tagore, just like Shelley, just like Jayadev, he also expressed his inner feelings for that supreme power. And no doubt there is a sweetness, there is a melody, there is simplicity, there is direct appeal, spontaneity, intensity of feelings, so emotion. What there is not, there is each and everything in Gitanjali. And this is why that Tagore is an unforgettable lyricist, such a poet he had been. So the next point, if you want, you can have this, but that is not important for you, because this kind of theme is not in your syllabus. So just ignore this point. And Tagore as a poet, okay. In Tagore as a poet, all these headings can be taken as I have told you. Simplicity, sublimity, that is loftiness, highness because his theme is related to God, so that is a very sublime theme. Variety, there is a lot of variety, richness, imagery, language, versification, and language, versification, imagery, spontaneity, spiritual realism, okay, what all is there. So the next point can be taken theme of his poetry, and here you can write theme of Gitanjali, but I would suggest you theme of his poetry. And what is the theme of his poetry? Relationship of God and the human soul, of God and nature, of nature and soul. Or you can also write relationship among God, nature and soul, of the individual soul and humanity. So there are so many points, but I would not like to make you puzzled. Only these points will be sufficient for you. If you want to sort out important points, you can. So that was a complete introduction, a complete I would say each and everything about Tagore has been given here. So, it was a complete introduction about Rabindra Nath Tagore and his Gitanjali.